Good morning, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude, and we've got a guest with us right off the bat. What you think of that, Fred? Right off the bat, guest.
You want to know what I think?
What?
First sip, let's go!
It's episode 201. We've got Antarctic Mike. Mike, what you drinking down there?
Nothing but hard lead.
Hard lead. Okay, we'll get it. We're really excited to have Antarctic Mike. And if you don't know Antarctic Mike, he's been speaking now for how long, Mike?
About 300 years. It's been a long time. About 20 years.
And you every time I talk to you, you're in a new city across the United States, meeting new people, hearing new stories. You've done a lot over your career. Why do you do it? Why do you do all that you do, Mike?
It makes a difference in people's lives. I mean, I believe that we're really here to walk each other home. And I do believe that people need help in that journey along the way. And I feel like with the gifts that God's given me, I feel a tremendous amount of sense of responsibility to give them back to help other people. And that's really why I do what I do.
I like it. I like it. We feel a sense of responsibility in the same way to help people like Paul Pappy, Russ Hammond, Trey Whitehurst, to get their minds right. I want to get my mind right, and I want all three of those fellas and whoever else to get their minds right. Do you think that's an important thing, Fred Blanton?
Absolutely. And not only do we want to help people get their mind right, we want to help them get from A to B. Where whatever their A is now, their future is B. We want to help them get there.
Exactly. Amen on that. Amen on that. Whatever it is, of course, Paul Pappy, he's got his own business. We want his business to thrive, survive, not just survive, but to thrive. Russ Hammond, he's got his shoe business. And it's nice coming together like that, isn't it, Mike? Having a group of people that you pull for, they pull for you. There's something powerful about that.
Well, there is. I mean, that's why it's said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that illustrates the point you just made, that if we're going to go from A to B effectively, it's better to go together. No question about it.
And going together, Trey Whitehurst, I didn't mean to leave you out of that. Absolutely. I want Trey to do his thing. And if you know anything about lighting, Trey's the guy that knows a little more about lighting. But I think it's funny talking about getting together and going to do things. You talk quite a bit, as a matter of fact, over your career about a little adventure in Antarctica where some men got together. And just share very briefly, we've only got 15 minutes, but very briefly, the whole idea, the premise behind that little nugget that you've carried across the United States now.
Well, the story, basically, the Cliff Notes version is 28 people in 1914 went to Antarctica. They got shipwrecked and stranded for 2 years, and they all came home alive. And how they did that are a boatload of lessons for us in the real world today in terms of how to be more effective in our jobs, be more effective as spouses, as parents, just as people. The lessons are endless. They're absolutely endless.
You're telling me something that happened in 1914 we can use today?
Yes. I'll give you an example.
Prove it, Mikey.
The single biggest factor in their success in coming home alive was the fact that they all let go of things they couldn't control. And they focused on the things they could. And I think today, you look at the list of things that we have to let go of: anger, bitterness, yesterday, control. Men, especially boyfriends and husbands, take note of this one: letting go of having to fix people. Yes, and I hear the women kind of chuckling and saying, oh yeah, you're not off the hook so fast. Ladies, especially the wives and girlfriends, what you have to let go of are the piddly little annoyances that you store up to be used as weapons in future fights. Look, I have 35 years in the marital game. I know how it's played, right? There's a lot of things we all have to let go of every day, and it's not easy to do so.
No, it's not. It's not. And are you familiar with that story about the Shackleton story, Fred? Have you heard that from Mike before?
Absolutely. I've heard it live.
Oh,
And
that's
then
right.
when we were up in Kentucky checking some things out, they had a nice display of it. They found a replica of the Bible that somebody had lost. It's a fantastic story.
Well, but in preparation for Mike coming on and doing some things, I read a little bit more about that, kind of refreshed my memory, and that one part, and I think that's the part where you have the picture. The guys are out playing football, playing soccer, I guess, out on the field.
Yes.
And I just thought that was just such a cool part, right?
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I wish I had it.
Yeah.
And you're calling that a field? Is that just a frozen sheet of ice?
Yes.
It's the ocean.
Yeah.
It's the ocean. And that's the irony of the picture. Even though this is the ocean, right? They had to let go of that ship. Even though a ship is kind of a must-have, obviously, in the ocean. You're not going to survive without a ship. But they had to let it go because they had no control over it. And that was the brilliance of Shackleton as a leader. And that concept of letting go, that picture is printed in my house on a piece of canvas 2 feet by 3 feet. It's that important. And that principle that I learned from Shackleton is what enabled me in the end of December of 23 to let go of my wife, who died on December 28th of the year 23. And, since then, my life has completely turned around. I met somebody on Facebook last May and fell in love with her in July. We got engaged in August and we got married in November of last year. And a lot of people look at that and they go, how in the world could you do that, Mike? How could you go from 35 faithful, solid years with one person and let her go at the end of her life and not come out of the other side a basket case, but come out the other side better instead of bitter? There's the answer. I learned to let go of chapter 1 and I began writing chapter 2, and I'm now living in chapter 2. And what I did, I don't have kryptonite or superpowers that other people don't have. I mean, if I can do it, other people can do it.
Absolutely. Now tell us about the ad. When people were getting on that, didn't they respond to an ad that was published?
Oh my gosh. That is so funny, because I was a headhunter for 15 years, and I know how hard it is for companies to hire good people. So Shackleton wanted to recruit these people for this expedition in 1914. So he wrote an ad in the newspaper, and this is exactly what it said. Men wanted for hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success. And he signed it. And 5,000 people raised their hand with some level of interest. And it serves as validation that when you tell the right story and you put the right story in front of enough people, they're going to respond. And companies today do such a pitiful job at best at hiring people. And they say they can't hire people because of the labor shortage. It's the wrong president. It's the wrong pope. It's the wrong price of gold. They have every excuse under the sun other than looking in the mirror, right? And saying, hey, maybe it's my fault. I mean, the bottom line is, if you fish with a rusty nail on the hook, nobody bites. But if you fish with the right piece of bait, like a fresh cut piece of salmon on the hook, people bite. And telling the right story is the fresh cut piece of salmon that companies should be using to hire people. I mean, I laugh when they say, well, there's a labor shortage. I'm like, a labor shortage? How many people live in the United States? Call it 300 million. Okay. Now let's take out the non-working people. Let's take out the seniors. Let's take out the babies. Let's take out the puppies and the kittens. What are we left with? 50 million? 25 million? I think that's plenty, right? And so
Hey,
that
Mike,
ad is a great example. Yes, Daniel.
you know what I love about that ad? It's
Tell me.
something that we've been talking about a lot. They didn't try to sugarcoat. He didn't try to sugarcoat what that job was. He told them the truth, and the truth sells. The truth will resonate. He could have said, he could have tried to be ambiguous about it. No, this sucks. Do you want to do it? I'm looking for a real man. Period. I like that. I mean,
I think about that. And you look at the efforts. Like if we were on Indeed right now, and we were to look at some of these ads that these companies put for people, they'd be better off to put this. If you think it's hard working on the oil rigs in Dickinson, North Dakota in January, wait till you come to our company, right? I mean, they'd be better off to put that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You thought you were tough when you survived whatever, but you come here.
Yeah.
It's a nice challenge, and it's the truth. In business, in relationships, if we know the truth, we can deal with the truth. It's that ambiguity. It's that not knowing. And so I think that we can apply that in a lot of places. Hey, I'm going to play this right here because Freddie loves it.
Quote of the day. Quote of the day. Get your mind right.
It doesn't even line up. The E is under.
But it's the pace. It's quote. I'm going to fix it. He's disappointed in me, Mike. So now I'm going Hey, I know you've traveled all over. You've been speaking to a lot of folks. You've heard a lot of stories. Do you have any quotes, any words of wisdom, just a few words for us that come to mind? Now, I'm putting you on the spot, and I know how that is, Mike, so you've got time to think about it while I look, but go ahead.
Related to the subject of the story I told you about my wife and letting go, I'll give you this quote. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice.
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. Fred,
100%. Yep.
I want Fred to talk about what it means to him if he's got anything.
Well, let's look at what we're trying to do on the show is a mindset situation. So pain is going to happen to everybody. You will lose loved ones. You will lose a pet that you've had for 13, 14 years, and it will hurt. But how long you choose to hurt is up to you. How long you hold on to that feeling is up to you, because it's your choice, just like Mike did, to come through on the other side stronger, in a better mental spot, and choose to get past it and move towards joy.
I like it. Mike, what about you? How do you apply that? I mean, you've had that situation, but how do you apply that? Not making it suffering. We're all going to have painful things happen. How do we? Suffering is a right. That's what Paul Pappy said. Paul Pappy said, "Suffering is a right." What do you think?
Well, I mean, listen, Angela died almost a year and a half ago. Okay, it still hurts. It's still painful. Realistically, it might hurt for the rest of my life. It might, but that's okay. I think when I say let it go, I don't mean pretend it's not there. What I really mean by that is let it be. Be okay with it. Yeah. And I think that when we can be okay with the fact that something hurts, that is what helps us to be able to let it go. And we're not letting go of the pain. We're letting go of the way things should be. In other words, suffering is the gap between the way things are and the way we think they should be.
Absolutely.
And I could get really hung up on, well, Angela should still be alive. She was only 57 and this wasn't fair. And she was under a doctor's care and we did all the things they said. And woe is me, right? I could be the victim. Living in the world of this is the way I think it should be is the victim mindset. And that's what we have to let go of.
I love it. Hey, this has been a great 15 minutes. Paul Pappy, Trey, Russ, if you're watching this on the replay, thanks for watching. Fred Blanton, final thought on this hump day.
Focus on what you can control and do not have a victim mindset.
No victim mindsets. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.